Good morning and good evening and good day to you all. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today, I'm going to be talking about a really, really fun bout of food poisoning that I just made it through. I'm the milk mother. This is a little show that we have on this channel about life with our currently 10-week-old little baby Emily. So, talking about the highs and the lows of each week, and I think it's very safe to say that the low or the challenge of this week, the most challenging thing was definitely having a little bout of food poisoning. Yeah, it was very exciting. So I would love to know in the chat. Some of you have been answering this. I'd love to know: have you ever had food poisoning? If so, do you know what it was from? And yeah, let us know in the chat. Hello, Elle. It's so nice to have you here. Elle says, "Not yet, but I hope I never get food poisoning ever again." Okay, so you have had it potentially. Creator Classroom has had it out of both ends. Not pleasant. It was a while ago. Do you know what caused it? Oh, so gross. My mum's here. Beautiful. Good morning, dear Claire. She doesn't think she has. Thank goodness. Yeah, it's an interesting thing because, like, obviously having a newborn, the hope is definitely that it the hope was that it was food poisoning and not something that was potentially contagious to this little baby who I'm currently breastfeeding. Um, but yeah, I when Emily was, I think, maybe 5 weeks old, I went and saw, my osteopath for I had, like, really sore wrist. Has anyone ever dealt with that? They call it, like, mother's thumb, but I guess it can happen, I assume, probably to all parents. But yeah, so I was at the osteo and he was saying, "Whatever you do, don't get food poisoning because, that, like, kind of upset is really dehydrating and can completely ruin your milk supply." So, yeah. So I definitely had that in the back of my mind the whole time. Um, yeah, so let me set the scene for you all. So it was Monday night. It was, the weekends are so lovely because it's Nina and I here at home with our baby, and then Nina goes back to work on Mondays, and it's a little bit of an intense adjustment for me still, like early days with a new baby. Um, so Monday night, I was like, I'm gonna go do some shopping, and then I was like, oh, why don't I'll just pick up some sushi on the way home so that we don't have to, like, bother with cooking because everyone's had a full on day and la 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 la. And I don't want this to put anyone off of sushi. It probably has put me off of sushi for a bit, but yeah. Uh yeah. Um it was all going so well, until about, like, I reckon 1:30 in the morning, and I woke up and I was just like, "I just feel weird. I just feel very, very, very weird." And then I was just, like, tossing and turning all night, not getting a very good sleep, which isn't uncommon when there's a baby, like, grumbling and making lots of noise next to you, um, in her little bassinet. But about 5:30, I was like, "I think I'm definitely getting sick. I think it's not good." And then I got up and went and pumped some milk because I was thinking, like, if this is really not good, if this is not a good day, it would be good to have a bit of fresh milk in the fridge so that maybe Nina can give the baby some food. So, yeah, that was a bit of a clever move. And then, just about as soon as I finished doing that, everything began. The whole day was a wonderfully sick day. I won't go into all of the details because no one wants to know about that, but I did just wanna, share about kind of the process for me, um, of freaking out that maybe I have something that this little baby's gonna catch. Um, because it's very strange. Your instinct when you're unwell, well, for me at least, it's stay away from everyone because you don't want to maybe have something that they can catch and then they get sick as well. Like, you don't want to be passing it along. But the thing with a breastfed baby is that the best possible thing for them is to have more of your breast milk. And also, the best possible thing for your milk supply is to keep feeding. So, and she wasn't any less hungry because I was so sick. So, yeah, so that was a very good thing. I'm so glad I knew that though. I'm so glad that I knew to keep feeding her because even if she gets sick, it's not going to be that as bad because like breast milk is super full of goodness, like antibodies and stuff. So it actually reduces the chances of her getting sick if she is able to keep feeding. Um, and yeah, hydration also, like, but it's so hard when you're like, throw everything up. It's like when you're struggling to keep anything down, it's very, very hard. But yeah, we managed. I managed to get heaps of a decent amount of fluid in, I guess, because I was still able to keep producing milk. Because it really was like apart from Emily getting sick and Nina getting sick, I also didn't want that to happen. But apart from Emily getting sick, my biggest fear I think was my milk drying up, especially because my dear sweet well-meaning osteopath had definitely put that thought in my head. But I'm also glad he did because it made me go, even though I don't feel like drinking water and like hydrolyte and these hydrating drinks, even though I don't feel like doing that, I must because I don't want my milk to dry up. um yeah, so it was a full on experience and I ended up having um a pretty massive headache because all of the water that you're or all the fluid that you're drinking is leaving your body in some way. One of the way, like your body's prioritizing milk for the baby. Clever body. It's not prioritizing um, your hydration. So you need to drink like heaps. So I was drinking it enough that milk was still happening, which is very, very good. But I was not drinking enough that I didn't have a massive, massive headache. So I naturally got massively, massively paranoid. I reckon about like the 5 o'clock mark. And I was like, Nina, what if it's like meningococcal and we're not taking it seriously enough? And I'm like going to die. And I genuinely meant that. So we called Health Direct one more time. I spoke about that a couple of episodes ago when we had um, some stuff going on with Emily, which she's fine, by the way. But Health Direct is like the call this number if you're not sure what kind of urgency your medical situation is an attempt to keep people help people get help, but also keep people out of emergency rooms and stuff. So yeah, I'm glad we didn't go to the emergency room for me having food poisoning because it wasn't that bad. But yeah, I also turns out no meningococcal, so that was a massive relief. But it was so great to have that resource, and yeah, I know some people shared yeah, it's the creator classroom says it sort of sounds like a phone line triage. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So you call them, you tell them, talk them through all of your symptoms, and they will say to you either you need to go to urgent care or you need to see a GP within the next 7 days, or they told me to see a GP within the next 2 hours, and I was like, oh yeah, that's not possible at 5:30 in the evening. It's not possible. Like GPs, like your family doctor in Australia, it takes like often 5 days to get in or a couple of weeks to get in to see them. So that was certainly not gonna happen. But they have, like, a virtual GP situation that we were able to talk to, which was totally amazing. Um, yeah, so we are lucky here, I think. It would be awesome for people to, after this, share in the comments if you know of any of those kinds of services in the country that you're in. In Australia, it's called Health Direct. And some people shared in a couple. I feel like I need to build up a whole resource of these phone numbers that you can call when you have something that you think, could this be an emergency? But it's not. It was the headache that was freaking me out. Um, but yeah, of course, it makes so much sense that all of the fluid that I'm taking in is going to feed Emily. So yeah. Um, okay. Oh, this is very interesting. The Creator Classroom says, I've heard that coconut water is super good for milk supply. Yeah, that's so interesting. Do you know why that's especially interesting? Is because when I was thinking about labor, I was preparing, what am I going to take to the hospital with me, like snacks and drinks and stuff like that. The number one thing that I had in my mind that I just desperately wanted, that I don't want often, was coconut water. So it's like my body, I must have just instinctively known that coconut water is good for these sorts of things. Yes. Okay. Yes, there is Nina. Nina is a hero. Nina was very fortunately able to work from home on the day that I was super sick, um, which was amazing to, like, not that nappy changes or diaper changes are particularly disgusting with a 10-week-old, but when you're really sick, like I could do it. If I had to, I could do it. But when you're really sick, it's like, to not have to do that is a real thrill, I think. Yeah. So thank you very much, Nina. Big round of applause in the chat and the comments for Nina for being an absolute hero. Um, yeah, there we go. So much, so much. What did I wanna is it does anyone have any thoughts or questions or feelings about anything? I can't really remember what happened in the week prior to this because I feel like that was definitely the challenge, but the highlight, the highlight probably of the week that I can remember was we got to go on a little family trip to see some dear friends. That was a highlight. And but like actually being able to, we weren't sure how Emily would go being in the car for that long because it was like a 45-minute drive. Guess what? She was amazing. She slept like the whole time. But I think it's all about the preparation. And sometimes you forget to be prepared. And the preparation for having a baby that sleeps in the car the whole time for us seems to be that she's very well fed. So making sure we allow for enough time for getting her a good gut full of milk before we head off is really, really good. So yes, the Creator Classroom asks how I'm feeling now. Um, I am feeling so relieved, and I was saying to Nina this morning, like it's so amazing. 'Cause it was, yeah, 2 days ago that this happened, and yesterday I was still like a bit fragile um and everything. And I'm sure I'm probably tireder than usual, but it's so amazing like how quickly you bounce back from these things. Yeah, I feel so good. But also just like eating, even when you don't feel like it, eating food that is super nourishing. I ate hardly anything. I ate like a few dry crackers on Tuesday, but But last night, like, we had a full dinner and, like, a very, uh, healthy food, and yeah, I feel so much better. Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, that's a very interesting question. Can you drink your own supply? Because you'd think that would be really nourishing, wouldn't you? I mean, you can drink your own supply. Should you? I don't know. Are you suggesting that maybe it might be good for recovering from illness? Because that's a very good question. Um, oh yes, and my mum. So was it two episodes ago we were talking about Emily's belly button? Um, this little sweetheart had a hello, hello. Oh, Nina's here. Ah, hello. Here's Nina, everybody, the hero of
Hello.
the
I
the
was gonna say, I don't know if I qualify as a hero, but that's very generous.
I think you're a hero. Who thinks Nina's a hero?
Oh, goodness.
I think Nina's a hero.
Hello,
Um,
everyone. I'll go back to the dog now.
I was like, "Oh, what's going on?" But I just then saw this. Pop your face in the live, Nance. Yes, she's hanging out with the dog in the lounge room before she goes to doggy daycare, which is she's very excited. Yes, so uh oh yes, Emily's belly button. So a couple of weeks ago in the app, we spoke about Emily had like an issue going on with her belly button where it just hasn't healed properly since birth. It's called an umbilical granuloma. And I'm very happy to report. So we actually have been back to pediatric emergency a couple of times for that, but now we have like regular check-ins with our GP for her belly button. We're going again tomorrow for a follow-up, but she is doing really well and it looks better than it's ever looked. So yesterday I did a nappy change and I was like, oh my gosh, she's healed. She's a healed woman. So yes, thank you for asking. We are very stoked that it looks like it's all done, which is like all completely healed, which is so good because I want to start this little baby in swimming lessons soon. And we need it to be healed for that. So, oh, she's having a big stretch. Having a big stretch. I'm going to say hello to the people of the internet. Oh, goodness. Oh, oh my goodness gracious me. What do you have to say? Grandma's there. She says, yay, about your belly button being healed. Oh, dear. Oh, we're a little bit tired. Oh, that was a massive fart. So that's good, isn't it? Oh, you're feeling pretty happy with yourself? You're feeling good? Oh, yes. There's another thing. How did the bathing bucket go? So last week we were talking about how much Emily hates having a bath. And well, as it turns out, even in a bucket, still hates it. It was so much better than the laying down one, which I suspected. Like she took a while to relax into it, but she did. So it was definitely a massive improvement. So I will for sure be making a video about that bucket thing. It's called a tummy tub. Um, uh, but yeah, the problem is still the problem that we have now is getting her out of it because it's like no matter how much we warm up a room, she's still like the second we get out of the bath. So um, it's just I think going to be a bit of a journey. We have taken to our GP actually suggested we just do some baths where we don't fully undress her, so just like using what are they called? Like what are those little towels called? What are they called? Yeah, anyway, tiny towels. I don't know what they're called for some reason. But yeah, cleaning her in that way for a while, like while it's still cold here. Yeah, the creator classroom says maybe swimming will help. Um, so yeah, I hope so. I hope so. I'm sure we will get her through her disgust of being in water. Hand towels. Yeah. Hand towels. Tiny towels. um yeah, so we'll get her through that. Um but the bucket thing, the tummy tub definitely was a massive improvement. Not so much screaming during the bath, just mainly after the bath. So, and I think also as our confidence increases and we get faster at doing it, it's going to make it so much easier and better as well. But yeah, what a week. It's been very exciting. All right. Well, thank you everyone so much for tuning in. We're at the 20-minute mark and I can't believe it. Time always flies hanging out with you absolute sweethearts. Um, we'll see what happens this week and let you know. Hopefully no one's sick this week. That'll be good. All right. Take care everybody. Bye.